It is happy hour with StudiO2. A lot of you guys have been asking, especially this week as we get into summer and lake and tailgates and all kinds of good stuff, cookouts, what is the best alcohol and how do we accurately track it? Because when we're tracking macros, we have to account for the alcohol somewhere. And you got carbs and protein that are 4 calories per gram, and then you got fat, which is 9 calories per gram. But alcohol is actually a fourth macro, and it's got 7 calories in a gram. So because we can't put it into MyFitnessPal, we choose one of the two categories to pull it from. People have different opinions on this, but that's how we do it at StudiO2. So you can choose to either deduct your alcohol calories from your fats, or you can choose to deduct it from your carbs, and it kind of depends on the rest of your day, right? So if you've had a little bit higher fat day, you might pull it from your carbs or vice versa. So we got 3 choices here. We've got hard liquor, okay? We've got a white wine and a light beer. So people are saying, what's the best choice? They're really pretty comparable until you look at volume, right? So I've got 2 ounces of hard liquor here. So 2 ounces is about 120 calories. So most liquor, and you need to do your research depending on what you like, but for us, this bourbon here is 60 calories per ounce. So if I'm making a cocktail or if I'm drinking it on the rocks or whatever, and I'm using 2 ounces, it's 120 calories. If you're gonna pull it from carbs, you divide the total calories by 4. Okay, so 120 divided by 4, that's about 30 carbs in a 2 ounce pour. Okay, with fats, 120 divided by 9, you're looking about 13 grams of fat that you got to pull for a 2 ounce cocktail. That's if you're not drinking it with a mixer, but if you're mixing it with a fruit juice or a soda or something that has its own calories, you have to factor that in too. So no matter what the alcoholic beverage is, you take total calories, divide by 4, pull from carbs, divide by 9, pull from fat. So that's liquor. And then I've got wine. This is 4 ounces of wine. And you got to make sure that you are measuring it too. There's a liquid measuring cup. All right, don't eyeball it because your eye can be deceiving when you're having a cocktail. So look, this is a 4 ounce glass of wine. All right, so think about it. When you go to a restaurant, you're looking at 5 to 6 ounces for a generous pour. So make sure you're accurately logging that. But in 4 ounces, most wine's about 25 calories an ounce. Okay, so again, these are pretty comparable. You're looking at 100 calories for 4 ounces. So 100 calories, looking at about 11 grams of fat. You're looking again about 25 grams of carbohydrate. So just make sure you, and what I do is I make a custom food, and I'll post this with the video, of a 1 ounce serving. So then I just have that 1 ounce, 25 calories, and then I can just put, I have 5 servings or 4 servings or 10 servings, depending on how crazy my night was. Okay, so that's the wine. But the point is, you're going to have 1 cocktail or maybe 1 shot, or you're going to have 1 glass of wine because they're comparable from a carb and fat standpoint, but most people aren't going to stop at 1 glass of wine where you might sip on a cocktail a little longer. Then you got your light beer. Okay, so most light beers range between 95 and 120 calories. So we're just going to use 100 for a round number. So again, 25 carbs in a 12 ounce bottle, about 11 to 13 fat in a 12 ounce bottle. So, but think again, how often you sit down to 1 light beer? You're probably going to have 2 or 3 over the course of the night. So you might have 1 cocktail or 3 light beers. You're better off to have the 1 cocktail and get a little bit more bang for your buck. Okay, so some things to think about. One is, what are you going to sip slowly? What are you going to moderate on? What's worth the carbs and the fats, and where can you pull from for the rest of your day? But what I suggest is you make a 1 ounce entry for liquor, fat, and carbs. A 1 ounce entry for wine, fat, and carbs. So then you have the flexibility to pull each one. And again, I'll post a video that shows you how to do that in MyFitnessPal. And lastly, I usually just do a light beer entry. Now the tricky part's those IPAs, guys, because if you get 1 pint of that, you're looking at a loaf of bread, right? 50 carbs in a 200 calorie beer, that's a bagel. So you just want to think, do I want to eat my carbs or drink my carbs? But we're drinking ours today, so we'll see you later.